Okay, there's two things I know. One is that toys come alive when you're not looking, and the second is there's monsters that are hiding in your closet at night. Those are things that I was sure of as a kid. My monsters are very clever. They were very good at disguising themselves as clothing. So you'd sit there in bed, I would sit there and I'd look up and there's a monster and you kind of look away and look back and you'd stare really hard and, oh, it's my shirt, okay? But they're pretty good. Sullivan had a little bit of a problem. He was working late and accidentally lets in this kid. Right, and the whole thing was a complete misunderstanding. He didn't mean to do it. He's the best scarer that there is on the floor, and he's not really sure exactly how it happened because there's this door standing there. It's completely odd that somebody would be working after hours or whatever. The doors are kept on a pretty strict, locked up. They're well taken care of, so you don't just let doors out for anybody. It's all high security kind of stuff. So the fact that there's this door here on the scare floor is really odd. He goes up, he looks in, there's nobody in there, he can't quite figure it out, and suddenly there's a kid running loose. And this is big news. This is the first human leak of an actual kid running around in the monster world ever in history. And it's completely unheard of. Of course, everybody is totally freaked out and panicked about it. As they should be. Human kid running around in the monster world. Kids are raw energy sources. Yeah, you definitely can see that. And looking at Mary Gibbs, who did the voice for Boo, she's just a spitfire ball of energy. And it's kind of a challenge. It's not like working with most actors. Most actors, you say, could you read this line? And really, it's as though you're in a lot of pain or a lot of anguish. Mary's not going to give you anything she doesn't want to. She just runs around. In fact, even getting her to stand in front of the microphone was too much of a challenge, and we ended up moving the microphone around on a boom to chase her around.
Pete Docter worked on Toy Story as a supervising animator and helped co-write Toy Story with us, and we had a blast. I mean, at Pixar, it's really such a group effort. You work together in real tight groups, but as we grow as a studio, we're going to have more and more movies being directed by lots of really talented young people here. And Pete gets to be the first.
I remember when we first pitched this to all the TDs, there's going to be a little kid, she's going to have this big floppy shirt, right? And then there's going to be these furry monsters running around, and they're going to be jumping and moving a lot, and all the fur has to look real. And yeah, they were starting to sweat a little bit.
They're like, no, it can't be done.
Yeah, impossible.
And then then you tell them to say, no, come on, you can do it.
You made this
You're awesome. Come on.
All right, but you can only be on screen for 10 minutes
Sure,
of film.
okay, fine. And of course, we ignore that. Go right, big movie with a T-shirt running all over the place.
He's in every shot.
And every shot. And they go, you lied to us. I didn't lie. The story changed. Right.
Late one night on the stair floor, Sully goes back to pick up some paperwork that was forgotten, and he sees a door sitting in a door station. No other doors, just this one door sitting there. Of course, he assumes that somebody left it out, and he goes to check the room and make sure nobody's in there before he sends the door back to the door vault. And what happens? He accidentally lets in a little 2-year-old girl. Boo. Completely freaks out. Again, pure energy. This little dangerous girl in this world. A little child has never gotten into Monsters, Inc. Sully let her in. The top guy, the top scarer, let this little girl in. So of course he completely freaks out, worries it's going to ruin his reputation. He's worried for his life. Hightails it out of there with Boo, and then has to figure out how to get her back. One of the most exciting things on this movie was that we did get to create this world from scratch. I mean, nobody knows what a world where monsters live in might look like. There have been a lot of different interpretations of it through time, but we had an opportunity to create a really unique, original vision of a monster world, and it was a lot of fun.
Sully is really the best scarer because he knows his business. He knows how to creep in, how to pop up the right precise moment that is going to get the most screen and the best quality screen. You know, it's an art. You just don't walk in and go boo. You have to build the tension.
When Sully and Mike are confronted with the fact they've led a child into the monster world, their first reaction is, "Wah!"
First of all, they're both really funny guys. They both have an incredible sense of humor, and they both are amazing show business veterans. So the wealth of knowledge between the two of them and the anecdotes that they come up with in telling stories to each other, that kind of thing is great. And the years of experience. So they're just, pros, complete pros. Sully is great. He's the #1 scare at monsters. He's like a natural athlete. He's the Joe Montana. He's just completely gifted. He was born gifted. He comes from a long line of scarers. He's big. He seems imposing, and he is exactly what a kid might think a monster would look like. It's true that they do want to scare you, but it's truly nothing personal. They're just trying to harvest the scream, to run their world, and it has nothing to do with you. Trust me. It is just these guys coming in, doing their job. So, it's kind of sad that we take it so incredibly personally, because monsters are really, really great.
Sully's just an all-around nice guy. You can't fake being a nice guy. He's just one of those guys who's just born with charm, charisma, and humility. And he's just got such a work ethic. That guy just wants to be the best at his job, and he's not out there to do it to get any accolades for it. He's just out there to do what's best for Monsters Incorporated. He's a real trooper, and monsters just like him. He's just that kind of guy. I don't think anybody should really be scared of a monster, because all along they've never been meaning to do anything but just, power their world and get some screen. They're just coming to get some gas, basically.
This film's always been a film about a big hairy monster dealing with a small child. The small child is wearing a t-shirt for much of the film, and all of a sudden you realize that we have to deal with hair, we have to deal with clothing. Two issues that computer graphics hasn't dealt well with in the past at all.
I think the most poignant moment in the film is when Sullivan actually sees what scaring children means to Boo, to children in through Boo, and realizes what he's been doing all these years and the effect it's been having. And I think that a lot of us do things in our daily lives just like Sully does, and we don't understand the effect it has on others. And for me, that's a very, very poignant moment in the film. If our animators had to animate every hair on that fur and move it, they would never get around to the main character's movement or finishing the film. So we had to figure out a way for that hair to move automatically. And that's the genius. All of the fur on Sully moves completely automatically. Our animators just move the character, and then computationally, all the fur figures out how to move itself. And that allows us to achieve a level of visual complexity that we never could without this dynamic, intelligent fur. And we're putting more and more of that in our films, these autonomous elements that know how to, in essence, animate themselves.
We have a character there who has a job. And at some point he has to ask himself, is he benefiting the world the way he thinks he is in his job? And it's kind of a question all of us might want to ask. In our job, are we contributing to the world or are we not contributing to the world? And sometimes if you ask the question, you may not like the answer. And sometimes monsters may not like the answer about what they're doing in the world. And it's about the character who has to live up to that question and why he would ask the question, what answer he would come with. Are we any different than that? And I would like to think that we do question what we do and why we do it.
The story is so important in both the humor, but also the heart. And I think in Monsters, that's what's going to surprise people in Monsters, how emotional it is in places, and it's really amazing.
I've been on this film for 5 years since came up with it to when it's released, and I think, well, definitely the thing that's been the hardest to do is just get the story to be just right, get those characters, the relationship believable, the sort of between Sully and Boo I think is really key, and between Sullivan and Mike. We worked really hard on a lot of special effects, but the story was the hardest thing to do.
Hi, I'm John Lasseter. I'm the director of Toy Story, A Bug's Life, and Toy Story 2. I want to welcome you to Pixar Animation Studios. This is our brand new studio. Come on in, there's a lot of cool things in here. So at Pixar we have this center atrium, and this is where all the things we do together. We have Cafe Luxo here, we have the mail room, we have foosball, very important here at Pixar. There's Pete. Hey! Pete Docter is the director of Monsters Incorporated. Thought I would give him a tour of Pixar. Go down to the Tiki Room. But this is Mark's office. He's done it up like a tiki room. And pineapple is the symbol of hospitality. So we're going to go see Andrew Gordon's office. Andrew moved into his office, and then what did you find?
Well, I found this air conditioning vent.
And he found a whole nother room in there. An alternate reality. So this has become the love line. Come on, let's go into the love line. But you have to crawl through. We have every dignitary that comes to Pixar, and they're starting to sign the rooms. We have Randy Newman here, Michael and Jane Eisner, Steve Jobs, Roy Disney's right there. Ooh, glasses, chips. Thanks for another wonderful time at the Love Lounge. Come on in here, this is my office. I love toys. Oh, who does that remind you of, huh? There's Steve's office. You want to see Steve Jobs' office? It's the cleanest office at Pixar. This is our main theater, and everybody's gathered to see our new trailer. They're overly dramatic here at Pixar Projection.
A Pixar Animation Studios film.
What makes Pixar so special is not the bricks and the steel and the wood of the building. It's the people that makes Pixar.
Joe Ramp. Joe Ramp is my head of story. I know Heinrich the Caterpillar. Carl Anderson, producer of Monsters Incorporated. You understand? Co-executive producer, and co-writer, and
He's co.
John Cars. Glenn McLean.
Because I always believe that if you're having fun making a movie, it's going to appear on the screen.
Hey, stop. Whoops, stop. This is where we get our creativity. Oh, I just had that there. It's called Speed Golf. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. When the road looks rough ahead. Pete's really good. Ladies and gentlemen, Pete Docter. International symbol of Hawaiian shirts. Big flowers. A few months ago, we had the first annual Pixar Air Show off of this bridge, and we had a paper airplane contest for the whole company. That was pretty cool.
You can see we really have a lot of fun at Pixar, but our main passion is our work. Our people work so hard. They work really long hours making these movies. But number one to us is to make a great movie that audiences around the world will enjoy. That hard work, creativity, and sense of fun has combined to create films that we are all really proud of. To date, Pixar has earned 13 Oscars, 1 Golden Globe, 1 Grammy, and a bunch of other awards for our animated short films.
Hi, and welcome back to Pixar Animation Studios Animation Talk.
And all the talk is about the first film we made right here in our new Pixar studio, Monsters Incorporated.
thank you for coming to visit Pixar Animation Studios. Bye.
Bye.